garden, garden tourism in Buffalo is growing, making it a model city around the nation. Today we're talking about the National Garden Festival with Margaret Relp. Now Margaret, introduce me to what's happening around town.
The National Garden Festival started about 5 years ago, and it brings together all the best of gardening in Western New York, so tours and walks, and today we're talking about open gardens.
And open gardens are really a great way to find inspiration and also quench your curiosity, so tell me how this works.
Well, about 90 gardeners in Western New York have opened their private gardens so that you can come and visit and talk with the gardeners, get up close and personal, the kind of personal event that you just wouldn't have access to any other way.
Our first stop is the garden of Kathy Kelkenberg and Linda Washett. We are relaxing by the waterfall with gardener Linda Washett. Now Linda, tell me a little bit about where your garden started.
It started really as basically a grass backyard, and we were inspired by the birds, so we put up the bird feeder and then started planting things that attracted the birds, and it's evolved as far as once we went on a garden walk, we see what people can do and how they cluster flowers.
So for people that are looking for that source of inspiration and they walk into your backyard, what are some of the things they're going to see?
When they walk in, they're totally surprised by what's back here because our backyard is really hidden from them, so they have no idea. They see the flowers on the outside walk, and then they're like, wow, and they don't have any idea that they can do this too.
Like you said, for those people that are looking at gardens like yours and saying, wow, I really want that in my backyard, but I don't know where to start, where do you recommend they start?
The open garden walks where you can actually go and speak with the different gardeners on the Thursdays and Fridays, that to me is a really nice setting because you get a more intimate talk with the gardeners and you get a feel for how they do it and how it's evolved.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come into your backyard and sharing your garden with us. This is just stop one, so why don't we head over to stop two. The rain didn't stop us from exploring our second garden, Wits End, the garden of Barb and Dave Whittemore.
We both enjoy plants. We have very much of a shade garden, and Dave has been a model train collector for years and years and years, and a couple years ago we decided I wanted a waterfall, he wanted a train, so we put the two together.
And when we're talking about plants, what are some of the highlights, the plants that people are really going to see when they come back here?
Well, we have primarily a shade garden, so we have over 100 different types of hosta, from tiny little miniatures to giant hostas, and we have an extensive collection of astilbes, which go along with our hostas. Primarily a little bit of a relaxing garden, hopefully. It should show our love of family and our love of the plants.
And of course this love is on display. It seems that people just love welcoming people into their gardens and showcasing them. So what is that experience like for you?
Well, this was our first year on the National Garden Walk, and we're very involved with the Hamburg Village Garden Walk, so we were used to people coming to the yards. However, with on National, we've had people from all over the country and from further away than just the Hamburg area. And we thoroughly enjoy surprising them when they come to see the yard, because we have a lot packed into a small space, and they're always so friendly.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your love with us.
Enjoy.
And of course, if you're looking for a little inspiration or maybe you just want to explore some of your neighbors' backyards, the National Garden Festival is the event for you. Time is definitely running out to see some of these gardens. Wits End is only on display tomorrow, so if you'd like to see all of those very interesting trains, you can head over there. They do have a brochure with all of the locations, the times. There's over 90 gardens, a lot of different days. Some are open, so if you're looking for the finer details, you definitely can grab one of these. I have to say, one cool thing about Wits End we didn't talk about is around the train, they had these little miniature pine trees, little evergreen things that grew only this big. So there's a lot of time, patience, and skill put into arranging these gardens. It's very, very interesting.
Very important detail, and I love the flavor of that piece that really showed you what it's like to go on one of these garden walks. You're just walking into strangers' backyards, their private homes, inviting them out to share the beauty of their own gardens. It's so Buffalo. And one of the things a lot of people like is you get to talk to the gardeners, so you really get to find out how they made it work. Like with the shade garden, what plants work well in shade, what works well for attracting birds, like the first garden. A lot of really cool information.